Hello, my dear, and welcome back to the Ella Romanian channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is Sephora. I am a native Romanian teacher, and I help people learn Romanian online. I have created a workbook. There is a podcast that I've been sharing with you guys. At this point, we have about 32 episodes, I think. And it is built on 3 different levels for beginner, intermediate, and advanced students so that everyone can learn and understand something. And I also post a lot of free content for people to learn Romanian for free. For those interested in taking actual Romanian lessons, I have both one-on-one and also small group lessons available on my website. If you're interested, you can book a free trial lesson. The link is in the description box, and we can start the journey together. For those of you who are here today to learn something new, because of popular demand, I have created this document that I'm going to do on Zoom this time. I know that you guys are used to me writing stuff on paper, and I'm also very used to that. So I hope today's format is not going to be such a big challenge for me or for you either. We are going to talk about 100 essential Romanian phrases, words, expressions. This is ideal for beginners. So this video is going to help you get from zero Romanian level to, I don't know, 100 words Romanian level. This should help you get your Romanian conversation started, and it shouldn't be that difficult to memorize. All these words that we are going to learn today, I should say phrases because it's not just words, some of them are like short sentences. All these phrases that we are going to learn today are going to be looking at different areas where you can use your Romanian. For example, to introduce yourself, to respond to someone, to order something at the restaurant, to tell the time, stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into that. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's take a look at that. Okay. And I truly hope that you guys can see this as well and that it is getting recorded. So 100 essential phrases in Romanian. The extra thing that I'm going to do for you would be to give you the informal and the formal version for the words that actually have 2 versions. I can tell you from now that not all of them are going to have it, but for those that do, it's going to be really good for you to know both. So you're actually learning more than 100. You're going to learn 100 and something. So let's see. Let's start with a basic hello. So hello is just bună. It's the same form here. So bună. It's going to be a very basic one. If we look at hi, this is also bună, but I'm going to give you some extra variations. Some people can say salut. This is usually for men. Salut or ciao, depending on the area in Romania. And it's the same version, salut or ciao. I would say that these kind of are informal as they are because you're not generally just going to greet someone being like bună. If you're trying to be respectful, you're going to use some of the other ones that we have here. But let's get into it. The most common one you're going to hear is bună. If you want to say good morning, that is bună dimineața, bună dimineața. Same here. I'm just going to add a line. It's the same thing. Or let's try to make this like this. Okay, so it's bună dimineața for both. Come on. Okay, for good afternoon, we say bună ziua. So this actually means good day. And this is also the same for both. For the next one, we are going to say bună seara. Bună seara is the same for both. And this is good evening. Bună seara. Now for goodbye, if we are being formal, we would say la revedere. And if you want to be casual, you can say pa, or you can say papa, like bye or bye-bye. See you later. That is going to be let's see, do we have a formal version? We definitely have an informal, which is going to be pe curând. Pe curând. I don't know if we have a formal one. So let's say that pe curând is going to be the same for both. Let's take a look at have a nice day. Have a nice day is going to be o zi bună. Yeah, we simply say a good day, and this is the same for both. I should actually make these things. Give me a second. This is pissing me off way too much. Okay, please, if you're being informal, that is going to be te rog. If you're being formal, that is vă rog. And give me a second. I just realized that I messed up this. So the informal is red. So this is going to be papa or pa. And the green is formal. My apologies. This is la revedere. La revedere. Okay, so te rog for please, vă rog for please formal. Thank you. The casual thank you can be merci, and a more formal one can be mulțumesc. At the end of the day, both mean the same thing. It's just that merci is more like thanks. So it's a shorter, less complex one. And then mulțumesc is the full version. Thank you. You're welcome. This is cu plăcere. Cu plăcere, we say with pleasure. And it is the same for both. And then excuse me. Excuse me would be scuză-mă if it is informal. And then scuzați-mă if it is formal. Scuză-mă, scuzați-mă. I'm sorry would be just scuze if it's very formal, or it can be mă scuzați, or it can even be îmi pare rău, to be more formal. No problem would be nici o problemă, and this is for both. Come on. And for the last one, congratulations. This is the same for both, and it is simply felicitări. Felicitări. Looking at yes or no, and all these ones, we don't have a formal version for this, only for the last one. So looking at the basic conversation, yes is da. Let me just make all of them centered at this point. So yes is da. No is nu, maybe is poate, of course is desigur, I don't know is nu știu, and I don't understand would be, oh, I understand is înțeleg, and I don't understand would be nu înțeleg. Nu înțeleg. All of these ones should be the same for both. Let's take a look. I unfortunately have to do all of these manually. If anyone knows how to do multiple at the same time without merging all into one, let me know in the comments. But until then, I'm going to behave like a boomer. So, nu înțeleg. If you want to say really is like, you can either say like da, or you can say chiar așa, chiar așa. That's interesting would be interesant. We simply say like interesting. Interesant. And then what do you think? If it's casual, you would say ce crezi? And if it's formal, you would say ce credeți? Ce credeți? For those of you that have been learning Romanian for a bit longer than just this video being your introduction to Romanian, you probably noticed that this language is very straightforward. We are not going to say a bunch of different things. Like here, for example, in English, you'd have to say, that's interesting. I guess you can also say interesting, but it sounds more polite and nicer to say a full sentence. In Romanian, you don't have to. We just say one word or like a very short sentence, and that comprises everything. politeness for us is not in the words you're saying, is how you're saying it. So let's move on to the next category, introducing yourself. We have multiple versions of saying my name is, but if you want to be casual, you would say Makama. And if you want to be more formal, it would be numele meu este. If you're saying Makama, it kind of sounds like they call me. And if you're saying numele meu este, as my name is, literally like English. What is your name? If you're being casual, that would be cum te cheamă. Cum te cheamă. But if you're being formal, it would be cum vă numiți. Cum vă numiți. Again, there are multiple ways of saying the same thing. I'm just trying to give you the one that is the most suitable for this kind of video. Nice to meet you. That would be încântat or încântată if you're a female. Încântat, încântată. And here you can say încântat de cunoștință. Or you can also say îmi pare bine. Îmi pare bine kind of sounds like I am glad. Yeah. Where are you from? If it's casual, that would be de unde ești. De unde ești. If it's formal, that would be de unde sunteți. De unde sunteți. I am from would be sunt din, and this is the same for both. You can be more formal than this. How old are you? If it's casual, it would be câți ani ai. If it's formal, it's gonna be câți ani aveți. You have noticed so far, yeah, this T at the end for the formal. Credeți, numiți, sunteți, aveți. Always keep in mind when you're trying to be formal or you're talking to a group of people, so multiple you, it's always going to end in this T. I don't know how many years old. You should know that in Romanian, we are not actually saying I am a certain number of years. We are saying I have. So that would be eu am, yeah, de ani. Eu am 50 de ani. I'm 50 years old. What do you do? So asking about someone's job, profession. That would be ce lucrezi? Ce lucrezi? And then to be more formal, it would be ce profesie aveți? Ce profesie aveți? I'm a student. That would be eu sunt elev. If you are anything below university level. So primary, mid, and high school would be elev. If you're at university, that would be student. There is no formal or casual version. It's just one for both. If you are a female, that is going to be eleva and studenta. So for us, we change the adjectives depending on the gender of the thing or person we are talking about. And then I work as would be just eu lucrez ca, and then add whatever profession you are. You can also say eu sunt and add the profession. Both of them work. If you're trying to have some everyday conversation, like how are you, what's been going on, basically just catching up with the Romanian, we start with how are you, which would be ce faci, if you're being casual, and then ce faceți, if you're being formal. I have a lot of students asking me why some people say ce faci and others say ce mai faci, with a mai in here like this. It means the same thing. We generally use mai when we catch up with someone that we've known and like we kind of know what's going on in their life. So it's similar to what have you been up to, instead of just asking what's up, you know. I'm fine, thank you. This is the same. So we are going to say sunt bine, mulțumesc. And you, that would be just tu, and if you're being formal, that would be dumneavoastră, dumneavoastră. What's new? Same for both. That would simply be ce nou. Ce nou. I am once again trying to give you the most suitable option. There are multiple ways of saying this. I'm just trying to make you sound as native as possible without burdening you with 1,000 long versions and very complicated words. Let's look. So, how was your day? That would be cum ți-a fost ziua, cum ți-a fost ziua, or cum v-a fost ziua, if you're trying to be more formal. I'm tired, I'm busy. All of those are just going to be one version. Again, sorry for having to merge these. I think I have at least a little bit of OCD because I need things to look neat in order to be able to function. I'm tired. That would be sunt obosit. Same for both. I'm busy. Sunt ocupat. I'm happy. That is sunt fericit. Fericit. I'm hungry. Mi-e foame. Mi-e foame. I'm thirsty. That would be mi-e sete. Mi-e sete. So we have sunt obosit, sunt ocupat, sunt fericit, mi-e foame, mi-e sete. Now let's look at asking for help. Can you help me? Oh, again, let's make all of these ones centered. Can you help me would be mă poți ajuta? And if you're being formal is mă puteți ajuta? Mă puteți ajuta? I need help. This is the same for both. And that would be am nevoie de ajutor. Am nevoie de ajutor. Can you repeat that? Poți să repeți? And then this would be puteți să repetați? Puteți să repetați? Can you speak more slowly? Poți vorbi mai rar? And then this one would be puteți vorbi mai rar? What does it mean? Same for both. This would, oops, my apologies. Sorry, I cannot stop fooling around. What does it mean? Would be ce înseamnă? In Romanian, we're literally saying what means. How do you say this? Cum zici asta? And then cum spuneți asta? How do you spell it? Yeah. Cum scrieți, I guess. Cum scrieți or cum citiți? This is the formal one. Cum scrii? We don't really have a word for spell, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what we normally say. Yeah, I guess we say cum scrii. Cum scrii or cum citești. It depends on what the person needs from you. If they need to write down or if they need to know how to pronounce. So we are basically saying, how do you write it and how do you read it? And this would be cum scrieți versus cum citiți. Asta, yes. Cum scrii, cum citești asta? Cum scrieți, cum citiți asta? Can you write it down? Poți să scrii? Puteți să scrieți? Back to this thing about spelling. The reason why we don't have a specific word for this is because in Romanian you write as we speak and you speak as you write. So everything translates. Whatever I'm hearing, I'm going to write down. Whatever is written down, I'm going to pronounce. So for us, spelling is not necessary unless you have one of those very special names. I have a question. This one is the same for both, and that would be am o întrebare. Am o întrebare. And then, could you explain? Poți să explici? And then, puteți să explicați? Puteți să explicați? Now, for getting around, we are going to look at some questions that you can ask. Honestly, most of them are the same for both, so we are not going to have formal or informal. Where is the bathroom? Is simply unde este baia, or you can ask toaleta if it's a public space. If it's someone's house, you're going to say baia, which is the bathroom. If it's a public space, you're going to ask toaleta because there's no shower involved, so we just call it a toilet. Where's the train station? Unde este gara? Unde este gara? Where is the bus stop? That would be unde este stația de autobuz? Unde este stația de autobuz? How do I get there? That would be cum ajung acolo? Cum ajung acolo? Is it far? It's gonna be este departe. Este departe. Turn left. Now we have different versions. So, fă dreapta. And then, oh no, dreapta is right. So, fă stânga. Sorry, I'm really tired today. And then, faceți stânga. With this one, stânga. And then, fă dreapta. And faceți dreapta. Go straight ahead. This would be mergi drept înainte. And this is mergeți drept înainte. I'm lost. I hope none of you need to use this, but if you have to, you would simply say m-am pierdut. M-am pierdut. I lost myself. Can you show me on the map? Poți să-mi arăți pe hartă? Poți să-mi arăți pe hartă versus puteți să-mi arătați pe hartă. Puteți să-mi arătați pe hartă. Now let's look at some shopping and restaurants. We are getting closer to the second half of this video, as you can see, because we are getting to number 60 something. So let's take a look at that. How much does it cost? There's only one version for both, and this is simply cât costă. Cât costă? That's too expensive. Again, one version, and it would be este prea scump. Este prea scump. Do you accept credit cards? That would be accepti card de credit. And this would be acceptați. Acceptați card de credit. They are not very popular in Romania. Of course, you can use it, but it's not our first option. I'd like to buy this. One form for I'll give you two. Let's say I give you one that's a bit more casual, which would be vreau să cumpăr asta. And the one that is more formal would be aș dori să cumpăr asta. Let's try to be fancier. Can I try it on? One version for both, which would be pot să probez. Pot să probez. I would like one version for both. That would be aș vrea, or you can also say aș dori. The menu, please. Meniul, te rog. And to be formal, meniul, vă rog. I'd like to order. Vreau să comand. And then aș dori să comand. Not set in stone, both of them are still polite, but this one is super extra polite. The bill, please, that would be nota, te rog, versus nota de plată, vă rog. It was delicious. Again, no two versions of it, just one. A fost delicios. A fost delicios. Now, looking at times and dates, I can tell you already that there are no let's say, a formal version about this. So there's going to be just one. Let me just handle all of this. Actually, I'm just going to write it and not copy it here, and you'll know it's just one. What time is it? Cât e ceasul? Cât e ceasul? What day is it today? Ce zi e azi? Ce zi e azi? Today would be azi or astăzi. Tomorrow is mâine. Yesterday is ieri. This week would be săptămâna asta. And then săptămâna viitoare. Now is acum. Later is mai târziu. And then I'm on time would be am ajuns la timp. I arrived on time. And all of these ones on this side are obviously the same thing. Yeah, like I just told you. Now let's talk a little bit about socializing, especially if we are looking at talking about hobbies and stuff like that. So do you have any hobbies? That would be, hold on, let's make them like this. Do you have any hobbies? Ai hobby-uri? We don't have a word for hobby, so we just took the English one. Hobby-uri. Okay. And then aveți hobby-uri? What do you like to do? This would be ce-ți place să faci versus ce vă place să faceți. Ce vă place să faceți. I like. That is just îmi place. And it's the same for both. We don't make a difference if you're talking to a friend or someone more formal. Same for this. That's a good idea. You would simply say, este o idee bună. Este o idee bună. Would you like to come with me? Vrei să vii cu mine? And then to be a bit more formal. V-ar plăcea să mă însoțiți? Just to be fancy enough. Yeah, would you like to come with me? V-ar plăcea să mă însoțiți? Let's go. That is să mergem. Să mergem. And it's the same for both. Sounds good. Again, same for both. That would simply be sună bine. Sună bine. I agree. This is one form for all, which would be sunt de acord. Sunt de acord. Sunt. Sorry, guys. Looks like even when I'm typing, I'm making typos. Not just when they write down. And I don't agree, which should be nu sunt de acord. I cannot today. I'm sorry. Nu sunt de acord. And then have fun. This is the same for both. That is going to be distracție plăcută. With the exclamation mark. Distracție plăcută. And finally, we got to the end of this video and to the part that is actually very important, emergencies. Again, I truly hope that you don't need to use these ones, but if you need to, you should know them. Okay, so let's take a look. Call the police would be sunați la poliție. Sunați la poliție. La poliție. Call an ambulance. Sunați la salvare. Or sunați ambulanța. Although we don't really say it like that. I need a doctor. Am nevoie de un doctor. It's an emergency. That would be este o urgență. Este o urgență. Can you help me, please? This would be mă poți ajuta, te rog, versus mă puteți ajuta, vă rog. And just because we are on the topic of emergencies, the Romanian emergency phone number is 112. Yeah, 112. If you do 911, it's not going to work. Or any other numbers that are in other countries, you need to call it 112. You are going to talk to an officer, I guess, and they are going to send your call towards whatever emergency you have. So they would send you to the police, the firefighters, the ambulance, whatever is going on with you. Again, truly hope you don't need to use this. Now we got to the end of this video. I thank you for bearing with me, especially with all these typos that I've been making. And I wish you an amazing day and an amazing week. If you need help with Romanian, I invite you to follow Island Romanian on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever else you can find me. If you want to get directly in contact with me, you can text me either on WhatsApp, the phone number and the link is in the description box, or you can send an email to info@islandromanian.com. I am waiting for your suggestions for future videos and what you want to learn about. And I thank you one more time for joining me today for this lesson. I hope that by the end of this, you are going to speak at least a little bit more Romanian and you're going to feel more confident. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. La revedere!